Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games, back with another cool arcade game repair video for you this evening. Well, a guy dropped off 6 games for us to repair the other day. And I actually just got finished fixing the Arkanoid. You may have already seen that video. If not, you got to go watch that video. Boy, it was a good one. You don't know what you're missing. But anyway, I got that one fixed. So today I think I'm going to start on the GALAGA, and hopefully that goes smoothly. I tried to get a list like Ronnie wants. I tried to ask him what was wrong with each game, and I wish I would have been recording it. But I'm always afraid to record customers. You know, they might not like that. This guy doesn't watch the channel. He's getting these repaired for his church, for some kind of youth group. So he doesn't want to spend much money, and he's not worried about cosmetics because he thinks the kids are going to mess him up anyway. And I talked to him a few months ago. I told him to go ahead and bring him down. Well, he's been kind of, I don't know, he hasn't felt like bringing them down. So they've just been sitting in his trailer for like 3 months. So he dropped them all off the other day, and I told him, I'm going to run right through these things. I need them picked back up because I'm kind of full. People use me for storage. You know, they just want the game out of their way for a little bit. And then I fix it, you know, in a few days. And sometimes it takes months for them to come down here to get them. So I wanted to make it clear, I'm going to fix them, but I want you to come pick them up. I want my money and I want my room. Okay? He acted like he understood. I wasn't that harsh, but I was trying to be. But anyway, got the Arkanoid fixed. We're going to do the GALAGA next. Oh, what was I saying? Something about the list. I was trying to get a list. I wish I was filming the thing. What the heck did I do with it? Well, I done lost it now. Oh, this might be it. Yeah, so the Arkanoid, he said it had no sound. The Miss Pac-Man said it was loud and maybe the screen had problems. The GALAGA said no sound and the buttons are sticky. I find it hard to believe that the sound is out on all of the machines. I think he's just making up stuff. The Blitz screen, question mark. The NBA Jam, he said it was working Friday and it wasn't working Saturday. So these people don't have, you know, they don't know what's wrong with them. So the list is pretty much useless. They're broke is what's wrong with them. They're broke. I've got to work through them anyway. But again, I'm not going to go through. I'm basically doing as little work as possible because he told me he was on a budget. Obviously, it's for his church. So I'm not going to go through and fix every little thing. I'm not worried about the cosmetics. He really wants all the marquee lights to work, though. He's more concerned about the marquee lights than anything, it seemed like. But anyway, we're going to get the GALAGA out and plug it in and see what's going on with it. All right, I plugged it in. Looks like the power supply light's on. I don't think monitor's on yet. It does have an original board in it. It's a newer style monitor. I like those monitors. Those are like set. It's basically a newer 7000 monitor. And I hit this switch earlier, the switch on the top, and I noticed the light comes on. They've got the light wired separately. And now I've got a RAM 4L on the monitor. Let's see if that turns off when I hit the switch. Yep. Yeah, they've got their monitor and the coin lights wired separately. I bet they've got the, they must have the power supply straight wired to the AC. Yep. Seen it 1,000 times. That's the AC for the power. They've just got it spliced in to where it's constantly on anytime it's plugged in. Okay. So we've got a RAM 4L. Before I start chasing my tail on the RAM 4L, I'm going to check the power. Power supply, power supply, power supply. Let's see. GALAGA likes a lot of power. GALAGA's a power hog. We'll see what it's got. I don't knock everything over behind me. 4.8. That's good. That means it's low. Maybe it'll come back to life. So I'm going to turn that knob right there. Let me get this situated a little bit better. We need to turn it up quite a bit. Last GALAGA I had, it wouldn't even work right until it was at like 5.4. All right, so I adjusted it. Now we're going to reset it. We've got to unplug it to reset it though, because I've got it straight wired. Come over here. Unplug. Plug back in without electrocuting myself. Come on, baby. This is normal. This is like a boot up sequence. Wham bam. It's almost like I've done that before. I think my last GALAGA was the exact same problem. Does anybody remember what that hippie said? Power supply, power supply, power supply. But it's making weird noises, so we're not out of the woods yet. Let's see what the sound's like. He's right, there's no sound. I don't know why you guys were doubting this. Well, the explosion sound's working. Well, that pretty much tells us it's a board problem, because we must be getting the voltage, the -5 and the 12. I don't really like working on original GALAGA boards. They're just getting so finicky anymore. But got to do what I got to do. All right. So we're going to unplug it, take the board out, and we're going to clean all the legs on all the ROMs. That's the first step. All right, I got the board out of the cabinet. So I'm going to carefully take each one of these chips out of these sockets, clean all the little legs with the little file, gently, gently, and I'm going to put them all back in. See how those legs are all black? So those are custom chips from Midway. And you got to be super careful with them because you can't really get them anymore. The legs are really brittle, and you can break some of the legs right off those things. And that's part of the reason GALAGA likes so much power, because it takes a little bit more juice to get through all those dirty legs on all of these chips. So I'm thinking it's a bad connection on some of the ROMs, or it could possibly be bad caps right here. But since we have the explosion sound, I'm kind of thinking it might be one of the ROMs. So I'm going to do that first, and we'll see where that gets us. Well, cleaning the ROMs did not fix it. But I didn't notice this earlier. Whenever you add a credit on it, it makes, like, it knows it's supposed to be making a sound. You hear that? So there's like a static every time I put a credit on it. And I noticed whenever I hit the fire button, it did the same thing. Like, it knows it's supposed to be making a sound right now. Hear it? So now I'm back to my cap theory. So I'm going to change the caps on the board, and we'll see what that does. Well, I cleaned all the chips, got everything back in there, and it was the same thing. No sound other than the explosion. So I decided before I went too much further, I should just Google it. So I Googled it, and everybody seems to think it's chip 5C. So I decided I would just take 5C out, and it appears to do the exact same thing. And I don't even have this chip in there, which leads me to believe that this chip is broke. Unfortunately, I don't have this chip, I don't think. I'm going to have to order that, and that's going to probably take a week to get here. So, I guess I'll be back when I get that chip. All right, I was going to order another chip, but then Ronnie came in and told me I could steal one off a Dig Dug board. And I had a parts Dig Dug board. This one's got a bunch of corrosion and stuff on it. And apparently, what is this? 10A? 10A is supposed to be the same as 5C on a GALAGA. Because, you know, Namco made both of them. So I'm going to go try it, see what happens.
Okay, I'm going to show you why you can use the chip out of a Dig Dug to fix the GALAGA. Or to troubleshoot the GALAGA is really what we're doing. This is the audio section of GALAGA, not the explosion sound, they do it differently, but just the digital sounds, I guess you would call it. And I don't completely understand how it works, but there's a PROM down here, 5C. That's the one that Joey suspected. And this is a sound state PROM. I think that's what they call it. So basically, this PROM is turning on these other chips, basically. And if you look, it's got the clock signals coming in, pin 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. They're on the left. And then it's got 2 data signals coming out, or 4 data signals coming out, 9, 10, 11, and 12. They're all tied into a pull-up resistor. And then each one goes to one of these chips. So there's a 7489, which is a RAM. There's a 283. There's a 174. And then the last one goes over here to this 273 over here. See, it's the clock lines that this chip is running. So it's basically turning on everything in this section as the sound flows through, or the sound signals flow through. These are two RAM chips, 7489s. This is a PROM, I guess, that has data for like what sounds are supposed to play, or what frequency the sound is, or whatever. And then it goes over here through these, I think these are switches, and it goes to be amplified. So if you look at DigDug, it's the exact same setup because Namco made it. So this is that same exact chip. If you look, it's got the clock signals on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And then it's got 4 data outputs that have a 1K resistor pull up on it. And then those 4 are being used to turn on the RAM. The 174, I think, I'm trying to follow, I think, that's right. The 273, and where is the other one? I'm looking for the other one here. The 174, the 273, it also runs in the clear on the 174, and the RAM. So it's the same setups. There's 2 RAMs, these, the PROM with the sound frequencies or whatever it is in it, this, here's the switches. It's just literally the exact same setup. This chip here may be different though, that's got I'm calling it the frequencies. That's just how my mind understands it. I'm not a software engineer or anything, or hardware engineer. But you're getting data here into the RAM. That's what creates your sound. You're getting data here into the RAM. That's what creates your sound. It's the exact same setup. They didn't reinvent the boat or the wheel. They didn't reinvent the wheel. They just used the same thing. So since this one is just turning stuff on and off, that's got a little tiny code in it where they made that chip do exactly what they want. And they use that same chip in Bosconian, DigDug, GALAGA. I don't know if it's in pole position, but it's in several of the games that Namco designed. So even though Atari made the DigDug PCB and Midway made the GALAGA PCB, they used the same code in that one little chip. We just got lucky.
All right, I put the chip back in the board. And I also moved the power supply wires to the bottom of the isolation transformer. I like to do it before it goes in the transformer. That way it doesn't affect the monitor. So now we can turn the game on with the switch like we're supposed to. We'll see if that fixed our sound. That seems to have done it. So now I'm going to take this bezel off and clean all that. It's really dirty. And I'm going to adjust the monitor a little bit too. The contrast is up a little too high, it looks like. All right, so I'm going to take the control panel off, take the bezel off, and clean everything with Windex, commercial grade. I'm also going to change this button to a red one and the cherry switch. Originally this would have had a leaf switch like that there, but somebody's already swapped it. But it just doesn't work very good, so I'm going to put another one in there. if you can make that out on camera, but it's got a big, it's very dirty. Got a lot of haze on it, dirt. Monitor needs more green too. I don't know if you can tell, but the ship's kind of purple. Blue and red make purple. Needs more green. We'll worry about that in a minute. All right, we got to add some green and maybe play with the brightness a little bit and the contrast. Find my mirror. Too much. That pretty good on the focus. The contrast is up too high, that's why it's bleeding. I think we need some green.
A little green to make it brighter.
Need to get a. Okay.
All the brightness is kind of in your green. So if your green's low, the whole picture will look dark.
Let's see. Didn't do anything.
No.
Anything?
No. that's doing something. That's your red. Go back. Okay. That's also your red. Go back. Okay. Can't tell. That's your green. Yeah, a little bit more.
That's all I got on that one.
Okay. Okay, go back. More. Just a little bit more. Okay, that's about all you got on that.
Wait, should I mess with the blue at all?
Yeah, might as well. Okay, go back. All right. Okay, go back. All right. Now turn the. You're gonna have to turn the brightness down just slightly. I think. Let me turn off the lights so we can see how the raster is. Yeah, turn down your brightness just a little bit. Whoa. All right, now turn your focus just a little bit. Go back the other way. Okay, back. Okay, back just slightly.
That it?
No, you keep going. Okay, the other way. You're right on it, then it moves whenever you let go of it. Keep going back. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. When you let go of it, it changes. The other way. All right.
That's pretty good. Let's degauge a little bit at the bottom, but
Yeah. The focus ain't great. Tubes dying on you a little bit. It's only been 40 years.
okay. Yep.
Apparently you can't get 50 years out of one.
They just don't make nothing anymore that's any good.
Midway, half-assing it.
Well, I'm gonna change that button and then we'll try it all out. But yeah, the focus ain't all that great, but I don't think the guy's gonna want to pay for another tube. Ronnie's gonna try, see if he can get it better.
I can reach it without getting electro killed. My hand's on the knob. That's better, ain't it?
Yep, a little bit better.
That's passable there.
I mean, that's fine.
If it fits, it chips.
You see how he did me? He was back there telling me where to turn it, and then he made it where I got it all focused. And then he said, well, I can get in there and do it better. Anyway, gonna change the button and try it out. Look at this crap. You can't just change the button like any other game. They soldered the wires onto the switch. They didn't put the little connectors on there like a normal person would. So now I'm gonna put the connectors on there. All right, the guy also wants it on free play. And to do that, you have to change the dip switch settings. You have to look in the manual to get the right settings, but depending on how you have all these set, they do different things. And Ronnie just looked it up in the manual and he says 6K, 1, 2, 3 need to be on for free play. One, 2, 3. The rest of them have, the rest of them do things, you know, with how many ships and difficulty and all that type of stuff. But we're just going to put it on free play and leave everything else. Now we're going to put it back in and we'll play a game and see how everything's working. All right, we got it on free play. Here we go. pathetic. Didn't even beat the first board. I prefer the rapid fire. Once you get used to that rapid fire, it's hard to go back to this. Keep smashing the button the whole time. Oh, come on. I got distracted. Works pretty good. Got the light working. I think I'll be real happy with it. Got my button swapped. It's in pretty good shape, really. Well, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.